partly true. Like when I'm writing a book, I'm trying to make something that's worth paying for and worth spending many hours with. And most of what you see on YouTube, most of what you see on social media, most of which is scrolling across your tab incorrect by the next breaking story or the next development, or it's all speculation to begin with. You know, during the pandemic, I read John M. Barry's The Great Influence of Science and the trajectories of viruses and pandemics. Showed me the state. You eliminate the things that are not the main thing, and then that marshals more resources, more energy, more motivation for the things that are the main. If everything is this battle between the higher self and the lower, Marcus Aurelius is talking about how the obstacle is the way. Do you know what kind of obstacles he's talking about? He's not talking about natural disasters. He's not talking about losing your arm. He's not talking about any of that. He's talking about people. He's talking about assholes. He's talking about jerks. He's saying that people are our proper occupation. So they actually create opportunities for us to practice virtue, courage, and discipline.
I don't get to choose when it happens. And when I say, I'll do this at 7 p.m. tomorrow, my brain goes, okay, and then just goes straight back to worrying about the intrusive thoughts over and over again.
They need to learn certain metacognitive skills, or whatever you want to call it, like cognitive skills. So you learn how to do them. They need to be taught how to do them properly, and they maybe need a bit of preparation before they kind of get fully into doing them. So they might, to do work experiment effectively, they need to probably develop a skill that we call cognitive diffusion. There's different names for it, right? Sometimes it's called cognitive distancing or verbal diffusion. It's a big part of acceptance of therapy.
No,
earlier.
come on.
Like half a dozen or more
Stop it.
strategies for doing it that are commonly used in therapy. So it's an important concept. Normally when people have thoughts, they kind of look at them through the lens of them, right? You're not looking at the telescope, you look through the telescope. Like in the future, you're kind of looking through catastrophic binoculars. Just to highlight, there's another example Professor of Physiology called Edmund Jacobson, that most people can relax to a kind of medium level. And then when they try to relax, and then they have a kind of rebound.
Ancients, as philosophy.
Trying not. You think about a way around that, which is that you tense your muscles and you study the feelings of tension for like 30 seconds or whatever, and then you let go of the tension.
Yeah.
You focus on tensing up first, and then the feel more deeply each time. But
why is bodily relaxation?
It tends to lower sympathetic nervous system arousal. And so it's one way of potentially damping down the kind of physiological side of it, right? But they can also be ways of dealing with the problem temporarily. And then when you maybe encounter a more stressful event, like the overwhelms of coping strategies, you might potentially some people
Not here.
One problem with coping skills is that people just stop using them after a while. So that's one of the things that we found potentially. But
sometimes it's a day money back guarantee, so you can buy it for free, try it for free. You can get the brand new Wood 5.0 and that 30-day trial by going to the link.
No, that's what he told me when we left the meeting. Yeah.
3 hours later.
How anxiety works and what causes it from your perspective?
Gosh. Well, anxiety used to be my specialism, although now I focus a bit more on anger these days. But they're two of my favourite emotions. The main thing I think that people should know about anxiety is we tend to think of emotions in a very simplistic way in our society. We have very simplistic language for emotions. And most people buy into something you do, and you can sort of try and push them down, or you can sort of vent them or whatever, and that's wrong. It isn't how emotions work, basically. It's massively overly simplistic, unfortunately. That's what we sometimes call the folk psychology, or kind of the robustly established technique in the entire field of psychotherapy research. How would you like next anxiety? It comes in flavors, like social anxiety, panic attacks, PTSD, stuff like that, lots of stuff. Right. Hey, so there'll be others. This is why people often don't overcome their fears, right? Because in the room, even though they desperately want. I mean, I was now got me thinking of medieval nights again, and I was like, is there a world any less anxiety? And just saying, I think it'd be pretty. Do you not think it'd be scary to live before there was a police force?
You often get pirates as well. Unless you just move away from the coast, right? It's the same argument that's made about climate change. Move away from the coast. As being a caveman and not having reliable heat to make it through the winter. You've been so maladaptive when you've been selected.
Difficult with that. Trying to figure out a solution. It causes you to kind of jump around in an abstract way. Like, so it prevents you from really confronting the
Some garlic for the
I'll back that up
cabbage.
with a weird piece of research, right? It's actually a
Salt.
generalized anxiety disorder, right? Something's called the worrying disorder. So with those people
Some
just worry
turmeric
episodes
powder.
and, measure their heart rate and galvanic skin response, their respiration and stuff like that, the brain image, guarantee you your heart rate's going to shoot up, right? Someone with a panic attack can pretty much guarantee you their heart rate's going to go through the roof. But somebody who's in a worry episode, the heart rate doesn't really got that, and sometimes it even goes down slightly. It's actually processing emotionally. Thing to do, in the 1980s, researchers introduced a protocol. Most clinicians call it worry postponement.
Are you okay?
It was
A few moments later.
There ever was. What he was saying is that a ball player doesn't label a throw good or bad. They just have to catch it. That's what we have to do in life also. And he said Socrates was great because he dealt with a bad marriage, he dealt with war, he dealt with the fascism of his time, but his life would always throw it back. You don't get rich acquiring things, acquiring money. Epictetus says it's not about having many things, it's about having few wants. If you have everything you need, then you are very rich. Would it also be nice to pair that with having a lot of money? Sure. But you could also have very little and feel like enough, feel good. Get to a place where you feel like you have enough and you're rich. When you pare your wants down, when you don't need anything from anyone or anything outside your control, that to the Stoics is true wealth. If you haven't, and a person who cannot read, the wisest people who ever lived have written books. Some of the greatest people who have ever lived have books written about them. Some of the worst people who have ever lived have books better. Life is teaching you. Life is making you stronger. You want to wrestle with this. You pick hard sparring partners. You pick people who you get better for wrestling with. When you're running, it happens all the time. Somebody passes you, or you pass someone, and then they start speeding up. One of the things you realize, or you have to realize, is that the race you're running is not against other people. The race you're running is against yourself. Epictetus said, enter races where winning is up to you. If you're racing against yourself, if you're racing against your own potential, if you're staying on the course that you are on, then you will always win. And it doesn't matter what other people are doing, you focus on what you are doing. Taking notes, are you highlighting? Are you really thinking? Are you talking to other people about what you're finding in this book? Are you putting that stuff into use? So it's not that you read that counts, it's what you read. And it's not what you read, it's how you read. That's the secret to being a smart person. Get after it. It's not that it's somebody else's fault, that we'll never recover from it, that we've been injured by it, the Stoics have said. When we choose not to feel harmed by something, when we choose not to tell ourselves that something has ruined us, Marcus Aurelius says in Meditations, then we haven't been harmed. It's not the thing that upsets us, it's our opinion about that thing. It isn't just on what he doesn't know. A person who focuses on where they can get better. A person who focuses on... We have to push ourselves. We have to seek out places of resistance, of challenges, so that when life challenges us, when we find ourselves in difficult situations, as Epictetus said, we needed to be able to say, this is what I train for. That's why we do the work. That's why we go to the gym. That's why we get up early. That's why we seek out difficult situations. We're training ourselves so that when that moment comes, we're ready. You have to think about your information diet. You have to think about the proximity of...
Make sure can see. It's exactly 1:13 p.m. and today is on a beautiful Monday, the 9th of February. So I want to make lunch. I'm just done with washing the utensils because I needed to wash some things that I want to use right now. So I had to make sure the utensils are clean. So I want to cook some chapati with coconut bean stew, and it's been a while, so I'm really excited to be making this meal. And if you know one thing about me that I really love to do on Mondays is to cook chapatis for my boyfriend. Yeah, so, and I know he has really missed chapatis because it's been a while since we've had them. I haven't been making them as much because of the back pain that I constantly get every day. But today I woke up, I did my workout, I stretched, so just to relieve some of the pain that I'm feeling in my back, guys. And I'm doing this because of the heat that I'm feeling. Like, it's so hot in this house. What am I saying? I'm saying that I woke up in the morning, did my workout, and actually went live on TikTok. These days I usually go live on TikTok when I'm working out. So if you want to see me in real time, you can always join my TikTok lives every day, like from 6 a.m. to at around 8 a.m. So I went on live, did my workout. Today I was doing my shoulders, arms, biceps and triceps, and a little bit of core workout. I was doing the standing abs because that's the only core workout that I can do for now because of the back pain that I'm feeling. There's some movements that I cannot do when it comes to core exercises because of the back pain, but since I can do the standing abs, thank God, that's what I did today. So I also did some yoga just to relieve my back pain and to be more flexible, obviously, and also to help with the muscle recovery, because I realized on days that I don't stretch, I usually tend to be very sore the next day. So I think stretching after your workout is very essential if you want to recover quickly. Yesterday I was feeling so much pain. My back, apart from my back, I was also feeling so much pain in my uterus, pelvic area, and that's because I think my period is around the corner. So I felt like I was cramping, but those were just different. Like, I haven't felt like that in a very long time. Like, it's very rare for me to feel like that. So I was going through so much yesterday and my energy was so low. Like, I felt like my body was so tired. I felt so sleepy throughout the day. So I just told myself I'm gonna do yoga. That's what I did yesterday, and I didn't go for my run. So hopefully this Sunday I am able to go for my run, because I really love to go for my runs on Sundays with my man. Yeah, it's so hot, guys, and the way I want to cook chapatis, I'm about to sweat like a motherfucker in this house. That's for sure. Yeah, right. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing amazing. Also, today when I was working out, I told you guys I was on live. Tell me why my fur baby AI decided to pee and poop on the pillow she was sleeping on. Guys, like, she had done that. Oh, my camera is overheating, but I hope it's still recording, because let me finish up quickly. But what I'm saying is, she pooped and peed on the pillow, the one that she has been sleeping on. And I was like, what is going on? In the middle of my live, I was doing a live recording for TikTok while I was working out, and I was like, this is crazy. I just had to continue, and that's some level of calmness that I have right now, which is crazy, because before that I would really like freak out and stop whatever I'm doing and start cleaning the mess. But this time I tell myself I'm not gonna stop my workout, I'm not gonna stop my morning routine so that I can clean this, because these are just distractions. So I just put the pillow aside and finish my workout, listen to some podcasts, and then yeah, my boyfriend came and then he handled the mess, because it was a really huge load of shit. So he cleaned that up, and I'm so glad, because it's like, am I the one who's gonna clean this? Because it was crazy. But yeah, so I've decided she's not gonna be sleeping on that pillow anymore, because even right now it's still outside. It has to dry. My boyfriend cleaned it, so it's still outside. And we decided, you know what, since she's messing things up, she's gonna be sleeping here. So I prepared this box for her. She's gonna be sleeping in that box, and I just put some clothes inside just to make it nice and comfy for her. And as you guys can see, she's clearly enjoying her new bed. Yeah, are you enjoying your new bed? Yeah, she's clearly enjoying her new bed. So she's gonna be sleeping here from now on, because what was that she did? Okay, yeah, so let me get into the cooking.
Don't feel more than you have to. Deal with that when it comes. For now, focus on what's in front of you. Focus on what you need to do. Don't act in 3 words. Say, do your job. This is a thing, I think it comes from Bill Belichick. But the idea is, and that's one of the reasons we switched to Sunday's dog food. Sunday's is a healthy dog food that's easy to store and serve. It's made from a short list of human-grade ingredients. It was co-founded by Dr. Tori Waxman, a practicing veterinarian. It's 90% meat, 10% vegetables, and 0% synthetic nutrients. And
It's essential. Because the truth is, most of what we do, most of what we spend time on, most of the things better. Do I need to do it? Yes or no? And if I do need to do it, then immortality. I carry a coin in my pocket that says memento mori. You can leave life right now, Marcus Aurelius says. Life is short. Don't waste time. Don't focus on things that don't matter. Going through our life with a clear sense of our mortality is essential. That's right. You can earn more money. You can get more land. You can get more opportunities. What you can't get is this moment back. Seneca says the time that passes belongs to death. So don't think of death as something in the future. Think of death as something that's happening right now. And everything you do, even watching this video, you are choosing to purchase with your life. You have to remember you're a product of your habits. Epictetus says, if you want to be beautiful, make beautiful choices. If you want to be excellent, make excellent choices. Make them habitually, day in and day out. They add up. If you like Marcus, you can do the Data Stoic journal, do a blank journal. You can do it on your phone. It doesn't. Premeditatio memoram is, and to be prepared, be ready, think unpleasant thoughts, to be pleasantly surprised. The only unacceptable excuse is I did not think that could happen. Nature, the flex of foam on a boar's mouth. Wheat bends low under its own weight. In the everyday life, he talks about the way that bread cracks open in the oven. Where does this come from? Why does it? Life can be frustrating. It can break your heart. So if you focus, you'll find beauty everywhere. You'll always have something that makes you smile. The way of expressing this is this rule, which is to do wrong to someone else is to do wrong to yourself. We're all brothers. We're all one. We're all connected. To hurt someone else is to hurt yourself. Right? Possess anything. Realize that everything you own is in trust and act accordingly. I think about this with my farm. I heard a great expression. You don't own your house. You don't own your farm. I don't own my problems. Complaining, not only is complaining ineffective, it makes, where are you now? Are you living under a bridge somewhere? And they go, no, on the same planet. Do scary things is develop the muscle so then you can do other scary things. And the reason you cultivate this, break them down, you see what they are. And then you know what you do? You push through and you do it anyway. Part of the reason that we stand alone is that we alone have the ability to make a difference. It's hard not to read about the life of Cato the Younger and not be struck by how often he stood alone, right? He stands alone in his efforts to reform Rome's treasury, which against
the forces that wanted to spend money that Rome didn't have. You know, there even became an expression in Rome where politicians would be asked to do things and they said, I'm sorry, I can't, Cato won't allow it. So he became like the excuse that other politicians would use when they were not disciplined, because they knew Cato was a wall against which these, you know, requests would crash. Cato stands alone in a time of to a grinding halt because he is there standing on principle. Seneca would write that Cato stood alone against the vices of a degenerate state. He says that was sinking to destruction beneath its very weight. And that alone, Cato stays the fall of the Republic for as long as one man's hand could hold it back. And this isn't an accident. Cato has to cultivate this. It's important that we understand doing the right thing is going to mean standing alone. He said, if I meant to be on the side of the mob, I wouldn't have become a philosopher. What did you become? A business leader, a politician, a author? What did you do any of this for if it's to follow and not lead? Life is about leading. Philosophy is about leading. So yeah, you're going to need to stand alone. The leader stands alone. And the Stoics understood this was hard and it was scary, but they did it anyway. Been dubbed by historians now as the Stoic opposition. And these were Stoics who stood up in the face of autocratic and tyrannical rulers in their time. And they were repeatedly asked to stop asking questions, right? To stop causing problems, to stop giving speeches. And this is a timeless theme throughout history. I mean, Socrates is told to do that. Cato is told to do that. And stop getting in the way. Stop looking behind the curtain. Stop upholding certain traditions or antiquated norms, right? You're causing problems. And do you know how the Stoics, I think, as a rule, respond to this? They do it even harder, right? That Michael Scott joke, I'm going to keep doing it even harder. And the Stoics hate this. Did you like doing experience? I got to interview all these great experts, someone with a PhD in psychology, someone with a PhD in philosophy, and maybe SEAL. I got to talk to people who really doing favors for people, we're getting them in our debt, that we're acquiring financial freedom or leverage or capital. We tell ourselves that this is all for the future, for some big moment of significance where we're going to have to make a hard call, right? Whether we're betting on a big idea or making that scary decision. The problem is that we don't ever actually think that we're at that moment, right? I think of Cicero or Seneca, that they accumulated all this political power. They piled up wealth. They had enormous audiences and impressive reputations. And yet, in the moments of great peril and difficulty for their country, when public opinion was, I think, up for grabs, they didn't do enough. Cicero and Seneca largely kept silent. Seneca specifically is bending over backwards to accommodate and enable Nero. He's probably telling himself that he's the adult in the room, that he's waiting for some future moment that he's going to really prevent Nero from doing something bad. Meanwhile, Nero's doing bad stuff every day. I think about this, an example of this happened recently. Columbia University lunch, I got invited to it, and there was Robert Greene, one of my favorites, really wanted one. I had to restrain myself from jumping across the table and be like, can I please do it? I'll work for free. All I want to do is work for you. And the reason I wanted to work for him was not just that I was a big fan, but I had a sense that he could teach me a lot. I wanted to do what he was doing. And if you are not finding the people who are doing what you are doing, or who have done what you have done, trying to learn from them, you are missing the point. Mark Aurelius in Meditations talks about going directly to the seat of intelligence. He says reading and writing takes a master, and so does life. Who is the person who has mastered what you're trying to master, and how are you learning from them? And I worked for Robert Greene for many, many years. Some of those tasks were fun and exciting, many of them were not. I learned doing all of them. And I'm still asking advice from him today. Admiral Michelle Howard, the first 4-star female admiral in the U.S. Navy, would talk about how mentorship is like a means of transferring wisdom. You can go and figure all this stuff out on your own, maybe, she says, or you can find the people who've already learned those lessons and learn from them. About the Odyssey. And it's a favorite of many people, but most of all, the Stoics. There is no work that the Stoics reference more than the Odyssey. I'm Ryan Holiday, the author of The Daily Stoic, and I traveled thousands of miles, not just to ancient Greece, where of course the Odyssey is set, but to Ithaca itself, where it begins and ends. To find out not just what the Odyssey is about, what it can teach us about life, but also why it's so resonant. She pretends this is where the word comes from. But the ancient literature, that's Odysseus behind me, right? So Odysseus has defeated Polyphemus, he's stabbed him in the eye, he's escaped the cave, and he's gotten away with it, right? He's not just gotten away with it, but Polyphemus, the Cyclops, has no idea who Odysseus is, because when Polyphemus had asked Odysseus, good night's sleep.
Let me pause this. Anyways, I'm done cooking lunch, the chapati with the coconut bean stew. So I'm waiting for my man to get home so that we can enjoy together. But I have to taste the chapati. It looks really nice. I actually left this chapati on the pan for after this was the last chapati I cooked, so I left it on the pan for some time for it to get like hard. I love when the chapati is crunchy like this, because the ones that I've put in the hot pot are very soft. I had to leave this for some time for it to get like crunchy. Out of 10 being the best, I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10 because it's so yummy. The salt is so perfect. I love it. Yeah. That is so delicious. I'm just imagining how it's gonna taste with the bean stew. With the coconut bean stew, it's gonna be bursting. Wow. I'm not the best. Like, I'm not there yet when it comes to cooking chapatis. But as long as I continue practicing, I'm definitely going to get there. Wow. And it's so hot. It's really, really hot. Anyways, let me continue listening. What did I say? Let me continue listening to the Stoic Lessons by Ryan Holiday. I really enjoy listening to that these days. So, because right now it's 3:39 p.m. So, as I wait for my boyfriend, and then oh, my phone is overheating. Yeah, as I let my phone cool off, because even when I was cooking with so much like difficulty. My phone kept overheating, and when the light goes off, the lighting is not that good, so I have to stop recording. Oh yeah, so I'll see you when we are having our lunch. Okay, I forgot to mention that I am on day 15 of the 75 hard challenge, and I wanted to share something, since drinking like a gallon of water is not easy, especially for someone like me who is who is building this new habit of drinking more water every day, and 4 liters to be precise, or a gallon each day, because of the challenge that I'm doing. So I usually use this glass. It has like like the measurements. It shows you how many ml you are drinking, and this is like 800 ml. So I usually measure like, okay, my phone is overheating again. Anyways, I usually measure like half of 500 ml, which is around here, like here. So that's where 500 ml is. So I'll measure that. And since drinking water, like every single time you'll have to keep going to the toilet to pee, so what I do is I will add some flavor to my water. Like I will use, for example, this pink salt to just, you know, because of the electrolytes, so that I wouldn't go to the toilet as frequently. Yeah, so that's what I normally use. Or sometimes I'll just drink like lemongrass tea. Yeah, so it's basically without the sugar, of course, so that you can count it as water. Yeah, so that I don't have to keep going to the toilet to pee. Yeah, so anyways, right now I want to read my book because it's less hot right now, and I can, you know, concentrate. And this is the book that I'm currently reading. Yeah, okay, so I'm on page 41.
Architectural training, you know, all the sort of classical notions of like hierarchy and symmetry and perspective is quite important when you have lots of things, but you don't want it to make it look cluttered. I still love art, and I still how I think. All different things, so it might change. I've been working on this space for the last.
The coconut aroma is everything. Oh my god,
when I
that looks
first opened up
so
this space,
yummy
it really didn't look like this.
and creamy.
It just makes me happy to be in space.
Let me do a taste of the coconut beans.
At nevertoosmall.com/.
It's so hot. Yum. The coconut flavor, oh my god, that is so delicious. Wow. So delicious. Wow. The coconut flavor. And the chapati is so delicious and soft. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Do you know AI eats chapatis? Like, let's see. You see that? She loves chapatis. It is so yummy. Okay, let me finish eating and start editing this vlog because my phone is already like having storage issues. So yeah,
I'm proud of you. Keep killing it. Keep doing your thing. There's no ceiling on, you know, your growth. There's no ceiling on your prosperity. It's all in your mind. Whatever you say with your mouth, confess it, and that's that. And then work towards it and keep it moving. And anybody who don't fall in line falls back, and that's that.